Hello there, it is time for another doubles race coming from round 3 of the Swiss stage of the Ori of the Blind Forest Randomizer tournament. It's going to be Cutieroo and Trojandude facing off against RainbowPoogle and UncleRonny. Talking you through this match, I'm Sigma, joined once again by Gramelios. How's it going, dude?
Yo, I'm good. This is a 2-0 match versus a 1-1 because of bracket math. Sometimes you don't get perfect, power of 2 pairings, but I'm excited to see what we are going to get.
Yeah, it should be interesting, and like the stakes of this one are reasonably high as well. If a 3 HP Master Race is able to win, they will go to 3-0, which secures them a bracket spot, and Team City Escape in that situation would be looking at a 1-2 record, meaning they would have to win out the rest of their games to get there. But, tying up at 2-1 each, if City Escape wins, could be pretty interesting as well. And, despite the difference in their records, I wouldn't say either team is particularly favored in this match. It'll just be interesting to see how it goes.
Yeah, I was about to ask, and you took the words out of my mouth. Ronnie is the current world record holder in all skills, so he's stupid good at the game. Trojan also has a very, very respectable all skills time. Rue is a little bit newer to the game, as is Poogle. Not that they are new, they've been with Ori for some time, but they are comparatively newer. They have months or, maybe like a year of experience or something, as opposed to like a lot longer. Yeah, I'll be very, very curious. Trojan, I'm especially wondering how thorough he's going to be. Even in his singles matches, he tends to be very, very thorough, as we saw in some of his singles matches. So,
yeah, one thing to note is some of the past races, Trojandude and Cutieroo, in this doubles tournament, I believe the match they lost was lost on a very difficult final escape situation that they got themselves into. And I think in general, both because of that and because of the way at least Trojan likes to play in singles, they will want to be a little bit more thorough. I would expect to see Ronnie and Poogle potentially try to finish the game with fewer skills, but it all depends on how the shards fall out. And we'll be watching to see what pickups they get. They did start off with that Grotto teleporter, though.
Grotto TP tells us that, there's only 4 pickups available from the start of the game, which means that if one of them is something like the Grotto TP, it becomes pretty likely that we're going to head there, especially if your second pickup is a Mapstone. The reason is that from the Grotto TP without additional skills, not a whole lot is available. It is possible to fall down the shaft multiple times and get things, but that's actually not in logic, right, Sig?
Yeah, that's right. In some places, returning to the start of the game with the alternate command that we're going to see everybody pull off right now, and then coming back is required, but it tries to avoid making you do that too much. So, what's going to happen is they'll probably check a couple pickups off to the side, but as you said, they're not in logic, because if you mess up the cutscene glitch, you can't get them and all this kind of nasty stuff. So we're going to see both teams go for the same split off the top. Diagonally, Ronnie and Cutieroo are going to check the 2 pickups towards the Keystone Door, and Trojandude and Poogle are going to teleport directly to Grotto, check maybe some stuff to the side on their way down to the Mapstone. The Mapstone's expected to be the high value pickup here.
This is fascinating. So yeah, the Mapstone is coming up, but the next 2 pickups were Glide and Wind Restored. Glide and Wind Restored opens up what Rue just checked in the bottom left, which opens up Clean Water. This is a fascinating start, and we're about to see what the Mapstone is.
I really hope that this Mapstone is the Swan. It's an ability cell, it's nothing at all.
That's rare. Like we were saying, oh, we got the Grotto TP, it's definitely going to be progression. Nope, it's Glide, Wind Restored. Although that's interesting because Glide Wind Restored led to Clean Water. So in the top left, Poogle is going to go check the Clean Water pickups, which, no, I guess she still has to go around, doesn't she?
Yeah.
She has to get Wind Restored, then Glide, then Clean Water, then come back.
We actually had an interesting thing. Actually, that's why nobody checked anything on the way down. Nobody has any ability points. They can't glitch the cutscene. That's why everybody went directly to the match, though.
Yeah, this has just been an unusual start. Not a bad start, just like a... just an unusual one. That's an interesting choice by Poogle. She knows that Clean Water's coming. Also, I didn't know you could do that. Did you see what she just did?
Yeah, the wind current is actually way wider than it looks there. It extends all the way left over the spikes, so you can float up there even though it looks like there's no wind.
That's smart. So at this point, there's a level up for a Poogle. She's actually gonna. Okay, looks like she maybe remembered that she has clean water and therefore can check the energy cell past the water, which I'm thinking that's going to be maybe another form of progression. Although with Glide Wind Restored, some of these other pickups in Grotto are also in logic.
Yeah. Speaking of which, the water vein, like floating back up, is fully okay by the randomizer standards, and everybody's able to find grenade as a result of that. And I believe Ronnie.
Wow.
Ooh, but that's Bash in the deep water, so we've solved it. Now we have abilities to move around.
4 minutes into the seed, Glide, Wind Restored, Bash, Grenade, and Clean Water. That's a start.
Yeah, this is the point where we kick back for the next 10 to 15, and they find nothing else that the tracker has to mark. It's just all experience and ability cells all the way down now.
You're not wrong. A Trojan in the bottom right is using Grenade and Clean Water to go check this pickup. It's a health cell, so not progression, but still valuable. At this point, a lot of things are in logic. With Bash Grenade, Blackroot Burrows is in logic. A lot of Grotto is in logic, although Keystones could potentially be problematic if they try to advance all the way to the double jump tree. Looks like in the top left, Poogle is heading into the Death Gauntlet, while her partner, Ronnie, is going to wall jump area.
Yeah, that's right. Now, something interesting to note, Cutieroo is actually going to pick up the health cell that Trojandude found, and this does make sense because early on, without really great skills to get yourself out of trouble, you know, no wall jump or anything like that, that health can be a lifesaver. So Rue will pick that up. Trojandude's now going to explore some of Grotto, and Rue will probably head to Glades, I'm guessing. He's going to check this grenade tree. Ronnie's already made it to the Sea Flame tree off of this.
Yeah, I like the routing. I enjoy that even right at the beginning of the seed, when the Grotto TP was unlocked, both teams had their runners split up. It's indicative of an experienced team that they're comfortable splitting up in that way and communicating properly.
Yeah, so it looks like maybe Poogle and Ronnie got off to a little bit better of a start. They've checked, I think, a little bit more in general, although the fact that they haven't done the pool, which had a health cell in it, is really what their lead is resulting from, because that one take a while to go down and do. And you know, true to their team name, they don't want 4 health.
Yes. I was going to make the joke. Yes.
Sorry, I took that one. It was...
No, it's okay. It's okay. It's a good joke. Also, it's kind of true. Poogle was known, even when she started running all skills, she just went 3 HP like right off the bat, even though it's rather difficult. But that's a whole different category. Ronnie in the top right is heading through Spirit Caverns, which has a number of pickups in it. Rue is heading to the Charge Flame Tree, something that I believe Ronnie already did. So both teams just continuing to stay very, very split up and be very, very thorough. We haven't seen any shards yet, despite how abundant these skills and events have been.
Yeah, that's right. Trojandude collecting that bash now. And where's he gonna go next?
There's so many options, dude. Options are hard.
Yeah, it's like there's just so much open, as you were saying. It's like, you can go everywhere, but what do you prioritize? Okay, I thought Trojan was maybe gonna step into Blackroot there, but it's gonna teleport back to Grotto instead. I would actually really like to see somebody do Blackroot from each team, because Bash Grenade makes Blackroot as fast as it'll ever be, pretty much. You can skip all of the platform riding with those skills. So, interesting to see that nobody's opted for it yet.
Yeah, I want to point out a little minor thing that happened. It's sort of a minute ago now, but I want to mention it anyway. Poogle had checked the Glide Vault, which is the 2 energy door in Grotto. She went down into the water and then couldn't get out because she doesn't have wall interaction. And like I said, that was like a minute and a half ago now, but I just found it sort of amusing. There are a number of spots in the game where you can get stuck in water like that.
Yeah, that's the worst. Just you're stuck in there. It's like, well, I have Bash Grenade, so I can do almost anything. But I can't get out of this little pool.
Well, so far, both teams are still very, very even. I think the HP Master Race has a bit of an advantage. I think they've been a little more efficient in their checks, but not by a whole lot. The good news is that with Bash Grenade, it's unlikely that either team is going to get randoed yet. because you can pretty much check everything. Trojan got stuck in the exact same way.
Yeah, I think he was deciding whether or not to alt-R or to reload his save, maybe thinking about where his save was.
One other sort of minor thing, just because I don't know if there's going to be a good place to mention it. Poogle up in the top left is primarily a controller runner, but for Bash Grenade, I'm fairly certain she's playing on keyboard mouse, at least for parts of it. So she's either full keyboard mouse or she's hybrid. Just kind of worth pointing out as we get going.
Yeah, Bash Grenade is pretty drastically better on keyboard mouse because you can aim grenades instantly rather than having to move them around with the control stick. Like Rue is playing on controller, so you'll see from time to time like changing the grenade aim takes some time, whereas everybody playing with a mouse flying around their screen is just throwing them instantly, pretty much.
Mm-hmm. Trojan in the bottom right, still continuing to be thorough. He's going to the bottom root of Swamp. He can't, well, technically he could go into Swamp right now, but he's, well, maybe he will actually. I guess you can redirect a Spider Shot. There's the first Waterbane shard, so that's cool.
Yeah, with Bash, this is fairly easy to get into, but he's going to just turn around there, leave Swamp for the time being. Doesn't maybe want to swim just yet, but, you know, it's completely open. You can just bash a Spider Shot, he has clean water, do all of the swimming. It's just, you know, it's good stuff.
I have to wonder, Sigma, like, if you're playing the Seed and you have Bash Grenade and all this stuff early, where do you think you go first? Because honestly, I'm kind of struggling to think of what's, like, if there's an objectively correct answer.
Well, I think in cases like this, I personally really like treating it like it might be an insane jet seed and just going straight to trees. So I like the fact that Ronnie is in Blackroot Burrows because you have to do this anyways, and Bash Grenade makes it lightning fast. Even though it's maybe a little slow right now, going to the Stomp tree can be good as well, just because if you happen to find your progression along the way, then you're just in a great position because you had to do it anyways, and now you get to like progress with it. But I also like checking very dense areas, like we see Poogle going through the lower part of Grotto here to check the lots of pickups down here, and Trojandude also has done a lot of Grotto exploration. Cutieroo up in Spirit Caverns, not much really been found so far, so unfortunately our prediction was right that they're just gonna get nothing for a while.
Yeah, the Seed has also been pretty sparse as far as maps. I mean, there was that first map altar that everyone activated down in Grotto, but apart from that, I don't even think another map stone has been found, never mind activating the altar.
Yeah, you're right.
Again, that might not matter, but it's something to keep in mind. You always have to keep in mind when you're playing Randomizer, like, you might have to make the trek back. I lied, by the way, Ronnie does have a map stone.
He must have picked that up in Blackroot. I think that's the only thing he's done kind of uniquely. Ooh, Poogle takes a little bit of a rough death to a spider there. But none of these pickups are valuable, so she's just going to leave them behind this time and head on out of there. So Ronnie stacking up these. There's a couple cutscenes that you can layer and get control back, which lets you move away. So gets an energy cell there. I guess important to note is Poogle is already at 4 energy cells, which is why she's able to check these areas, and Ronnie is close as well with 3, so might be following down eventually.
Yeah, Poogle was in a bit of a spooky spot there. I hate these lasers, dude. The walls are slippery, and you can just take a sort of laser-based demise, but we're okay. Ronnie did get another map stone. Turns out, by the way, I was even more wrong before than I thought, because I think that more than one additional map stone has been found, but I don't think more altars have been activated. But yeah, Ronnie is the first runner of the 4 to head down into Blackroot, and he's, you know, made it to the dash tree. He's continuing along. Rue on his heels. Meanwhile, Trojan made it all the way to the double jump tree. We'll see. He'll almost certainly alt-R, and he'll have to decide where to go next.
Yeah, up from the Grotto teleporter seems like a pretty good play at this point, since Rue's already cleared Spirit Caverns. That could be good. Also, maybe just heading over. If there was anything good in Spirit Caverns, which I don't think there was, you could go get that. You could go get the Charge Flame tree if you didn't do that already. So, lots of options to be sure. So we're getting some tree progress and some location checks. We have seen 2 Gumon Seal Shards in total by now. Trojan found one on the way down to double jump. Ronnie just found one in the Boulder Escape area. And also, Ronnie found Stomp off of Mapstone 2.
Still no wall interaction, though. Stomp is very valuable, especially because Bash and Stomp gets you access to the left side of the map. I think by themselves, you don't even need wall interaction.
That's right. We
at
might
least
not see it.
Right, at least for part of the left side of the map.
There have been some, funny like seeds that have come up before, and it is actually possible to have your first wall interaction appear on mapstone number 7 with these kind of skills.
Good gracious. Let's be honest, I really want that to happen.
I mean, if that's the case, we're probably just not going to see them find it at all.
Anyway, to check in, Poogle had a sort of amusing kill on the mini-boss. Time was paused during her bash, but then a grenade killed it sort of anyway. It was pretty funny. This is an area that I believe we've already seen. I think Trojandude, but someone on Team Cityscape has already been down here. So Poogle will presumably continue all the way to the double jump tree. Ronnie is also down in Grotto, just went to get, one or two things that Poogle, I have to assume, told him to go get. And we'll also be heading over to double jump.
Ronnie dipped into that lower left grotto area, grabbed Spirit Light efficiency actually off the plant, then turned around. So interesting, going for that. Early on, that means you'll get a lot more ability points over the course of the seed because it doubles your experience.
Poogle is also checking this keystone and just barely took a death there, but with the save, it's all fine. I was going to say, checking that keystone without wall interaction is potentially finicky. You have to be careful that you don't kind of slowly just slip down into spikes.
Yeah. Poogle is also only at 3 health still. Looks like Ronnie's made it up to 6, but Poogle has found no health cells, so that's a situation, all right.
Oh, Trojan, bottom right, just found climb. It was at the plants in the swamp entry area, so that's the first wall interaction of the seed. Very valuable find.
Yeah. Also interesting to note right now that Trojan is not carrying on to actually complete swamp entry. He might just get these pickups to the right of Ginso and then go back for it, because these kind of get orphaned if you just go into swamp and then altar out of there. Or he might continue along to the swamp teleporter. It's not maybe so important to force the trees as quickly as you can in shards, because you likely need to check this stuff anyways at some point.
No, but it's like you said, if it's all equal, you should still choose the thing that is guaranteed progression, which is getting a tree out of the way. And then if that thing happens to contain a shard, which feels like it happens more frequently than you'd think, but that might be confirmation bias talking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess in that context, I would really like to see Trojan check this pickup and the grenade pickup, and then turn around and go into swamp. But like, I could see him also going to the swamp teleporter to get that active and check some pickups and growth potentially. But it does leave that stomp tree for, like, who knows when.
Has anyone been to the Iceless area yet? Has that been done?
I believe not.
Yeah, I don't think so either. So that'd be another play for Trojan. He could just go up top and continue to the left, grab his swamp teleporter, and continue down to the Iceless area, which has a fair number of pickups in it that we will have to see. There's another sort of generic point involving these seeds where you get bash early, which is that you can do these various series of bash glides, especially if you have feather. And so I'm kind of trying to pay attention to see if any of the runners are trying to efficiently pull those off.
Yeah, here and there. So a couple things going on, by the way. Ronnie managed to pick up a water vein shard down to the ability cell to the left of where you would go to light grenade. So being a little thorough there is paying off. Trojandude will be picking up the swamp teleporter. I think the really important thing about him going this way is if he continues to the Grove Iceless area, he'll put in that map stone and get stomped. Although it looks like Cutieroo put it in and found that stomp, so now he'll definitely know that he wants to go do that.
Yeah, by the way, Poogle is not only going into swamp, she also found a separate water vein shard, which was at what I like to call the Sicily plant. It's just the plant kind of directly to the right of the Grotto teleporter along the lower swamp route. So that's 2 for them. And Sigma, do you remember offhand, where was the water vein shard that Team Cityscape found?
It was the one that Poogle just got.
Okay.
So we've seen 2 so far overall. Looks like both teams are at 2 Gumon Seal shards as well. Trojandude's gonna pick up Stomp and immediately get the Grow cutscene, because now it's here that you have Stomp active.
Yeah, 3 HP Master Race still doesn't have wall interaction, so look at Poogle again, making the intelligent play to head into swamp, but now she's kind of stuck. I don't know whether this is possible. Even if it is, she's gonna get damage boosted back, so yeah, just gonna back out and sort of be forced to go back there yet again. This has happened multiple times this seed.
That's pretty funny, actually. The climb is sitting on the upper swamp entrance. I actually thought it's like, yeah, this is a good play. Go through the lower swamp entrance, get into the swamp, but it's like, wait, how? You can't get out of the water.
Well, anyway, what I'm about to say has nothing to do with what you said, but Ronnie is in the light grenade area. Just continuing to be thorough. I do think that if I had to choose, I would prefer UncleRonny's and Poogle's routing right now, because like we've discussed, I think that Ronnie and Poogle are sort of prioritizing trees a little bit more. Rue and Trojan are still being quite thorough. They're down a water vein shard, but probably won't be for too much longer. But Ronnie and Poogle are getting some trees out of the way that I don't know if we've seen from the other team.
Yeah, you know, and speaking of trees, there's double jump on the light grenade tree, so now Poogle will know to basically just head directly there. Light grenade's incredible value. And looks like Ronnie's also going to continue in Blackroot. There are a lot of pickups down here, and with his skills, he can actually full clear lower Blackroot, which is surprising this early in a race.
It is. That's sort of maybe an argument for rushing those trees. Double jump can also be used as a sort of form of fake wall interaction. It's something that Poogle would certainly be comfortable with, even though I'm sure they'll find that climb pickup at some point. Swamp entry is a pretty logical place to check. But until then, double jump can be substituted for not getting stuck in water pits anymore.
Yeah, that's right. Cutie going into the swamp entrance area to grab climb, and also with Stomp able to go one further. I'm interested to see, will she go for swamp entry right now? No, is going to head around instead.
That's several times now, actually, that we've seen Team City Escape approach swamp and not go in. Remember that with clean water and now wall interaction and bash, you can enter either through the top or bottom route into swamp. Also quickly pointing out that Rue did not skip the cutscene for the lasers, so her lasers are spawned, and she's going to have to be careful to not get singed.
Yeah, oh my goodness, that was spooky as heck.
There's a hidden benefit of climb, by the way, which doesn't crop up too frequently, but that's that when you have bash grenade and climb, you can toss a grenade while clinging to a wall and bash off of it, right?
Yeah, that's correct. You almost never see it used because it doesn't really get you access to stuff, but in some situations it can be pretty useful. Like when you don't have wall jump, then getting off of walls is just horrible. Alright, yeah. So Ronnie, he has double jump, so he's going to, you know, take Poogle's place on this swamp trip because he will be able to get out of the water using that double jump. So he's doing that. Poogle, in the meantime, is going for Blackroot. Well, this makes tons of sense because she hasn't done this yet, and double jump is such an insanely useful pickup that just beelining trees and getting double jump is a great use of time, even if you're not checking anything new during any of that.
Yeah, also very, very important find as we see Ronnie trying to do this double jump stuff to get through. Ronnie found his third water vein shard. It was at the experience orb at the top of these spider coves with all the pillars there. Oh, and we found Dash as well. I think that's maybe a little bit impactful. Rue just picked it up as well. It's the energy cell behind the grenade walk pickup in coves.
Okay, that's definitely good news for Team City Escape. It was looking, I'd say, overall rough for them with the tree disadvantage and not having double jump. But with Dash, they can start making up time. Rue's going to grab a water vein shard there, so is that 3? No, I think that's just the second one for them, potentially. Because they don't know about the...
I mean, the two that we saw from Poogle and Ronnie, it was the Sicily plant, and it was... Oh, good lord,
in lower
somewhere
Blackroot,
else.
it was the ability cell next to the light grenade, like fork, I guess you could say. So Trojan and Rue have definitely not gone down there, so I think they are still at 2 water vein shards with that.
Have to say, I just watched Rue do some movement, use climb, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's what it feels like to be able to have a real wall interaction. I had almost forgotten in the past 22 minutes.
Feels, yeah, that's a, you know, something to feel, anyways.
Certainly is. Yeah, Ronnie in the top right is in swamp. Kind of fell off the platform, but that's okay. He can just you do some fish strats 2.0. Head up top. We'll see how thorough he continues to be. I'm guessing very, since I don't think anyone's found even a single sunstone shard yet. Nice bit of bash movement there as well.
Yeah, that's right. Warp's Return showed up at some point. I think both teams found it already, and no sunstone shards though. All right, so what's going on in the meantime? Cutieroo is going to take a look at Valley entrance, which I don't think anyone has been to yet. So
I don't think so either. I mean, there's multiple ways to break this. Grenade is one way, Stomp is another. I don't think either was in anyone's possession if they came through here, which I don't even recall if anyone did. And Charge Jump is the experience orb up top, so that's even more verticality and the ability to break certain walls. Another very valuable find.
Yes, and I also really like this from Cutieroo. The long swim's available, but she's gonna skip it and go to the left side because, you know, you're one water vein shard away, and you haven't seen any sunstone shards yet. But the left side, like, you can check so many pickups so fast while you get the 3 trees over here that this is just making this play makes so much sense. And Trojan Dude's immediately gonna come get Charge Jump because it speeds him up a lot. And I wouldn't be surprised to see Trojan turn around, not do this valley entry, and maybe try to hope for a teleporter. And actually, okay, he's gonna do this pickup. I know I just said I liked Rue skipping it, but the fact that Trojan is altering anyways makes
Holy cow.
good. And yeah, Water Vein Shard for Cutieroo.
Okay, well, things just took a turn for the better for Rue. Not that they were in a bad spot before or anything, but left side access, Charge Jump, the full completed Water Vein. That's very, very good news. Rue is going to have a decision on her hands. She's clearly going to go in and get her feather, maybe even going into Sorrow first. But then after that, someone's going to have to go to the Ginso tree. It can't be Trojan yet because he hasn't been over there to get the full Water Vein. But Rue might decide to go there first.
Yeah, this is actually pretty interesting. Trojan checked that pickup down there in the water. It was just a health cell, so I thought he was going to alt R and check some other stuff. But because Rue found the Water Vein Shard, Trojan is now going to go get that right now. So something like Trojan carrying on the feather, getting the Valley Teleporter, and then going to Genso makes sense. Or, you know, Rue can even go to Genso. There's the Sorrow Teleporter sitting right outside Sorrow. That's incredibly useful. It's like just golden pickups all over the place for Trojan Dude and Rue. And Ronnie and Poogle, the places they need to go are Upper Grove and Valley Entry, which I don't think will take too long to get to. But, man, Dash is really powerful, and despite the fact that they have double jump, it's not like Trojan and Rue are going to miss it for long, since it is just on a tree.
Yeah, that's what a fortunate placement for the Sorrow Teleporter. I mean, with wind and with rocket jumps and with wind and feather, it would be pretty trivial to get up there anyway. But like, what the heck? That's an easy shortcut if you are comfortable doing the movement. Yeah, so Rue, after picking up feather, did alt R. Looks like she went to the Grotto TP, which might mean that she's going to the Ginso tree. She didn't have the Swamp TP unlocked, so that still might be going to the Ginso tree.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I like this decision because between the two of them, Trojan Dude has done a lot more, you know, runs of Ori. Ooh, there's lasers there, though. Everybody forgets about the lasers, and Rue takes a quick death. But yeah, Trojan has done a lot more runs of Ori, so he'll be more comfortable dealing with the more difficult left side of the map where things do higher damage, and Rue can have a bit of an easier time going through Ginso.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a very good point. Given the current skill set, I'm guessing Rue will probably decide to go past the Bash tree. Also, it's about this point in the seed where one has to start paying attention to keystones. Make sure that you don't go into Ginso with too few keystones. But I think she's okay. To be honest, it's difficult for me to read, but I think she's okay. Meanwhile, Ronnie is probably going to get climbed soon since he's near the swamp entry.
Yeah, at this point, it's just they don't really need it so much anymore. Poogle is finally now down to the light grenade tree. Blackroot takes quite a while, and she'll be able to grab that double jump soon. And Ronnie, I guess since none of them have been to Stomp yet, it makes sense for him to turn around and go there. See, Trojan Dude is going to continue over on the left side of the map, checks the bottom of Valley, doesn't find a lot of anything as Rue steps into Ginso. There's another Water Vein Shard for Trojan.
So apparently Valley's just fertile ground as far as everything. Jeez. Also getting some nice health cells. At this point, health cells are going to be, well, not that valuable, to be honest. With Clean Water and with Bash, the final escape is not going to pose too much of a challenge. I don't think we'll see a repeat of the situation that Trojan and Rue found themselves in the other day.
Yeah, it's possible to do damageless, and everybody's kind of getting to the amount of stats where they could take 1 or 2 hits from the fire already, so I don't think anybody is going to really have trouble with it. I would expect a whole bunch of first try final escapes on this one.
So who's in the lead right now, Sigma? Right now, I have to say that it's Team City Escape. They are already on the left side of the map, clearing out a lot of these pickups. They have Rue is on her way through the Ginso tree. At this point, it feels like Ronnie and Poogle have some catching up to do.
Yeah, that's right. Ronnie is on a track that will lead him towards Dash, which is good for them, but I think your analysis is dead on. Trojan and Rue have managed to get some more progress thanks to that dash into charge jump pickup, and Ronnie and Poogle will need to play a little bit of catch up. But it is, good to note that Ronnie and Poogle have at least done the grenade tree, and double jump makes things a lot easier once they get that and dash, but they just have to get over there.
Well, the other crucial point, essential to this whole thing that we're doing here, is that I still haven't seen a single Sunstone shard from either team. So, like, Rue and Trojan are not a huge amount ahead, but they're a little bit ahead as far as trees and skills and whatnot. But it's still anybody's game, just even only because of the Sunstone shards.
Yeah, that's right. The good news, of course, for people hoping that for some sane seeds and faster finishes is when Sunstone is the last thing you're looking for, you don't have to look in Mount Toru.
That's a good point. Check out the simultaneous valuable finds. Poogle just got her second Water Vein shard. I don't recall how many they found as a team, whereas Ronnie, I think that was where Dash was, right? Yeah, there's Dash.
Ronnie grabbed Dash. I think Poogle knew that Ronnie had already been down there, and she was just collecting the Water Vein shard he already found. And as he finds Dash, Poogle turns around, is going to teleport to the closest available teleporter. Ronnie also finding that Water Vein shard, so Spider Sack area is the place to be for Poogle right now because Dash and the full Water Vein are waiting for her there. And now Ronnie is in position to potentially make the play that I think it was Trojan or Rue, I don't know, one of them first went through here, Valley entrance at some point, maybe not in that order, whatever. He might get charged up soon, is what I'm trying to say.
He'll definitely get it because there's no way he doesn't check everything when he goes to Valley. As you said, it's only a question of when he does it. Rue is our first runner, in Ginso. She's been there for a little while now. But Rue actually found a Sunstone shard in the Ginso tree so far. Maybe she'll find two more keystones in the room that she's in, and then Rue will have the option to either alt or continue even further. And to be honest, I think continuing in Ginso is smart because you can exit the final escape into Swamp.
Yeah, that's right. I don't believe that anybody has done the Swamp swimming yet. I know we've seen some Stomp Tree visits, but ooh, yeah, okay, Ronnie gets that charge jump, immediately says, okay, let's go. And I wouldn't be surprised to see Poogle follow the same path all the way up to charge jump. Maybe even honestly it makes sense to follow to the Valley teleporter in this scenario because no left side teleporters have been found yet, and there's no better time to get the Valley teleporter than when you're already in Valley entrance.
There are calculated times where teams might decide to just intentionally follow in each other's footsteps, even if they're not, covering new ground at the same time. If it just makes sense, or if you think it's statistically likely that you're going to find something in these new areas anyway. In this case, the entire left side of the map. So I agree, it would make some sense for Poogle to head over there. Ronnie is already on his way and is checking the bird cell, checking a whole bunch of stuff.
Yep, that's right. So I would definitely not be surprised to see the same kind of split for Poogle and Ronnie. Somebody will do Ginso, somebody will explore the left. But thing is, that's what Trojan and Cutie have been doing for a while. Like, they're just going to be entering Sorrow and Ginso as Cutie and Trojan are, done with them just about.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Speaking of, searching for stuff, pay attention to the bottom left right now. Cutieroo is in the final escape, got eaten by the water, but that's okay. It was pretty early. Oh, and by the way, Trojan just found a second Sunstone shard in Misty Woods. Okay, so that's 2 out of 3. It's entirely possible that Rue ends up finding the last one before too long.
Yeah, that's right. Ginso escape, very dense, lots of pickups in here. And we'll see what she gets. Trojan will be, in the meantime, checking Misty. The timing works out really good for them because they're both going to hit natural sort of stopping points at a similar time. Like, Trojan will be able to climb tree and Rue will be done with the Ginso escape, and then they'll be able to decide what to do. So if Rue finds one here, Trojan won't have to continue in Misty, and if not, then Trojan can continue in Misty. Rue could potentially come over to the left, something like that. So I'm just watching for Rue to get anything good. It's so far just been a bunch of experience and ability cells.
Well, while that happened, Team 3HP Master Race, and thank you to Uj for telling us this, found their third Gumon Seal shard. So it's not exactly the shards we wanted, but it's something. Hooray, Gumon Seal.
Yeah, that's right. So Rue finishes the Genso escape. Nothing useful up there. One Sunstone shard in Genso is very important, though. So knowing about that is pretty good. And this is an interesting play from Ronnie here. He's going to be going down into Lower Valley towards Forlorn before going for, you know, some of the tree locations like Sorrow Pass or Misty.
Do you think that this is, we use this term sometimes too often, but do you think this is a power play, thinking I'm just going to make the play that probably Trojan and Rue haven't yet, hoping that their searches were fruitless? Do you think it's something like that?
Maybe. Honestly, I'd be curious to ask about this one, because it seems just a little bit odd, I guess, to do this when you have, like, Sorrow Pass has a gazillion pickups in it, because it has so many keystone doors that are, you know, now don't have to be keystones. But you will be able to get all the way down here to Forlorn, and their team has a full Gumon Seal. I'm not sure if Ronnie has it. He might be able to even go in, and I guess in that context, I could see what's going on. Like, if he has a full Gumon Seal and Poogle doesn't, he could say, okay, we're going to find out if these Gumon Seal shards are worth it right away. But no, he's going to leave after checking all of that stuff down there. We'll be heading, I would have to guess, back to the left side after that.
Well, like, Sorrow's just totally accessible right now. Like, pretty much everything in Sorrow. It's an area that we've already seen quite a bit of checks. I think it was Rue who went there. But like you said, if you're going to the left side and you grab Feather, it is surprising to go down rather than to head around. Ronnie's actually going to drop down again, if only to rocket jump back up, being probably very slightly faster than floating up or something like that. Where is the last Sunstone shard, and are Ronnie and Poogle going to find the same Sunstone shards that Team City Escape did? These are questions I don't know the answer. Well, there it is.
Ooh.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's what we call a completed Sunstone, along with a completed Water Vein. Team City Escape is 100% in go mode.
Yeah, and they have a great skill set. Like, I would classify their final escape as fairly easy with these. The only I was gonna say, yeah, they don't have double jump, it'll be hard, but they have to get double jump before they go to the final escape, because someone's bound to visit the grenade tree.
Yeah, you're right. That's right. Yeah, so we'll kind of see the order in which Trojan and Rue decide to clear out the remaining parts off their checklist. Trojan used the Sorrow teleporter that was found at the Wilhelm orb rather than floating up through the bottom. He's going to use Climb and Charge Jump to get around these barricades. I don't know whether this is faster than floating up from the bottom, but maybe Trojan, for whatever reason, just preferred it, so here we are. One way or another, he'll get to his tree before too long. Poogle, meanwhile, also heading to the left side, picked up her Charge Jump.
Alright, so it'll be up to Ronnie and Poogle to just...
Sorry, I got excited, but never mind.
just people dying in Sarah, you know, what else is new, right?
Mm-hmm, totally.
Yeah, so it's going to be up to Ronnie and Poogle to, like, really get these Sunstone shards fast, and I'm not too worried about them finding the one in Gitso, the one that was, like, on the way in Misty, the very first pickup, but of particular concern is the one above the Glades laser. That's a weird location to go to until you've exhausted a lot more stuff, so I could see them sitting on 2 out of 3 for quite some time. When your opponents are in full go mode, that's troubling.
Well, I mentioned earlier that the saving grace, or the potential saving grace, of 3 HP Master Race was those Sunstone shards, since at that time Team City Escape hadn't found them. Obviously that's not true anymore, but I'd be remiss if I didn't say this. Trojan, I did say this earlier actually, Trojan in all his singles matches continued being thorough, arguably quite a bit longer than he needed to be. So I'm curious if Rue and Trojan are going to continue trying to clear the map, or whether they're going to just rush to the very end.
I can't imagine that they're going to care that much for Charge Flame and Wall Jump. I feel like they're just going to rush. As soon as, like, I can see maybe a couple more pickups checked, but as soon as Rue finds out that double jump is on the grenade tree, there's, like, no way they're going to keep looking for things.
Yeah, Ronnie, by the way, found Wall Jump. It was the ability cell above the Sorrow, the Charge Jump tree. So thank you thank you to our wonderful truck for keeping us informed. Poogle did take a death from the Grove Teleporter heading into the early area of Valley, and so she has to go get charge jump again. That might have actually been a pretty impactful death now that I look at it.
Yeah, that's right. We were seeing kind of a few deaths here and there. And this is kind of a funny thing right now. This kind of tells you how open the seed has been in general. That Trojan just now is going to the wall jump tree. There was nothing useful here, and there's always things to check that weren't just like, okay, let's catch up on trees a bit. So it's like, you know, almost 40 minutes in, you're in go mode, and it's like, okay, let's get wall jump as tree number 6.
That's so rare for that to crop up. But I guess here we are. So yeah, Poogle top left still has no wall interaction of her own. It's really interesting to me that 3HP never found the climb pickup, which, to reiterate, was the plant at swamp entry, which is something I thought Ronnie was going to check, but I guess when he went there, he decided to take the opposite loop around the Ginso tree path and just sort of never went back down there.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so tree count. Rue just picked up tree number 8 on charge jump, and Trojan Dude now doing all basically the early game trees. It's his first visit into Blackroot.
This is so bizarre. How often do you see this? And yeah, like Trojan, he doesn't need to check anything, so we got the in a normal seed you would continue and check the experience orb to the right. He obviously doesn't need to do that. He's going to head right in, dash gliding over the slow zone. It won't take him very long to get through the rest of this. Poogle, meanwhile, is watching a quick cutscene, probably going to make a save, or not, before heading to Stomp the Rocks, or maybe going to Sorrow first. Nope, Stomping the Rocks. Yeah, so I mean, Ronnie and Poogle have execution, but so do Rue and Trojan, and Rue and Trojan, I think, just found those valuable pickups early enough that it's probably their game to win.
Yeah, it definitely looked good for Poogle Ronnie early in this race because they found double jump so much sooner, and double jump is really helpful, but then Trojan and Cutie, earlier dash find, earlier charge jump find, and as a result, earlier left side, and that just, you know, snowballed from there. As well as the fact that Trojan checked the pickup above the Glades Laser, which is hit their last Sunstone Shard, and someplace you just don't want to go, but oh, Rue actually just found a Sunstone Shard in Sorrow. Hang on, I'm losing my mind here. Maybe that one wasn't needed?
See, I thought Rue had already been here, but I must be confusing myself with another screen, so don't put too much stock in me saying that. I'm probably wrong.
Yeah, okay, so there's a Sunstone Shard in Ginso, there's one above the Glades Laser, there's one in left Sorrow, there's one in the Misty entrance. Rue's gonna get the Misty entrance one. So Rue's never going to have to go to the Glades Laser. And
good.
3 HP Master Race doesn't have to either, because as soon as they do Ginso, which nobody's been to yet, they will have 3 Sunstone Shards, but I think their tree situation is, well, maybe it's not that bad. Ronnie just picked up tree number 9.
I was watching for that, dude. I didn't realize he was at 9 trees.
Yeah, like, so his only place to go is Ginso for trees, but he's going to continue in Misty first. And yeah, Poogle in the Ginso area, she's got to go to Ginso. The faster that Poogle executes this and gets to the Sunstone Shard, the better it is for their team, because that's like what they need. Ronnie will be able to stop this search and just jet to the finish. He only needs Bash. He might be the most tree progressed person here, actually. This Trojandude picks up tree number 8 now. Yeah, so I think it's 8 for Ruin Cutie. Ruin, good god. Take over.
I know. I know, dude. I'm in the same boat. I don't know how many trees Poogle has activated either. We'll be able to know for sure the next time she activates one of them. But yeah, Poogle just heading around. I believe she does have the completed water vein, so she's almost certainly heading into Ginso right about now. There she goes. There she goes.
Alright, and Ronnie is being thorough. He's finishing he's at least going to check the grenade pickup. I don't know if he's going to fight the boss, because the boss takes so long to get you to the last pickup. It's just absolutely crazy. But he's going to check this, and I hope that Poogle finds the shard and not Ronnie, because if Poogle has to do all of this as well, it's horrible. And Ronnie actually is going to go for the full Misty clear.
That's a bold play. We will see whether it pays off. I mean, we kind of, I guess we don't know if it won't. There might be a Sunstone Shard. No, he's not. He's backing out. I think that's smart. I mean, that pickup is so slow that, like, maybe it has a Sunstone Shard, but even if it does, oh my god, it takes so long.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's not just for you too. It's like, do you really want your partner to have to do the second half of Misty later? Like, that's just horrible. Ronnie's gonna be heading towards Ginso, and I like this. Late in the race, they don't know that they have the full Sunstone yet, or like they will momentarily when Poogle finds the shard. But just finish the trees. Like, if you have nothing good to do, just finish trees.
Yeah, I think it's smart. I mean, you can also take a gamble that that Ginso is, you know, basically the dense area. Rue is about to get a tree in the bottom left, so that is tree number 10 for her. That's her last one. Trojan is approaching Bash. That's going to be, is this 9 or 10 for him?
I believe this is going to be the end of Trojan's tree collection. We'll have to see. No, it's 9. He has one more to go somewhere.
But to reiterate from the last race, a team's time as far as the tournament is concerned is their average. So Rue is rushing to the end. Since she has everything, I don't think she's going to have any issues with the final escape. Maybe still doesn't have the swamp teleporter. I wasn't paying close enough attention. So yeah, just heading over here. It won't take Trojan very long to get the last one either. And Poogle is going to continue in the Ginso tree, searching for that last Sunstone shard.
Yeah, no, it'll be interesting to see. Does Poogle find it before Ronnie gets to Bash? Because Ronnie might just... I feel like he might carry on with her, but you really want to just know, you know? And it's hard to stay ahead of the all skills world record holder as your teammate, so I'm hoping Poogle finds it quickly here. But the big issue for 3 HP Master Race is Poogle has not collected any of the left side Sunstone shards, and is only at, I think, 6 or 7 trees now, whereas both Trojandude and Cutieroo are almost ready to go to the end of the game.
Yeah, that's going to be, to be honest, you know, to not sugarcoat it, that's almost certainly a deficit that they cannot make up. Ronnie just got his 10th tree, still needs a Sunstone shard, so he's not going to go to the end of the game because he can't. So he's just going to keep searching. I like his decision to go through the Death Gauntlet using Dash rather than going to the Glades teleporter. This is actually a little bit faster, and I think he got an extra pickup in the process or something, just sort of trying to find out where to go next.
Yeah,
where is most likely to have one.
Here's the really brutal thing. I guess that the Sunstone shard that's in Ginso was up at the top, I suppose. And since Poogle had explored the entire key dupe area, Ronnie left. Poogle had the key dupe to check higher, so if Ronnie's gonna get that shard, he's gonna have to do all of Ginso again. Oh my god, that's rough.
That is brutal. Yeah, Ronnie is now heading into the Horu fields. This is, honestly, the seeds are blurring together. Have we seen a check of Horu fields this seed, or was that the last seed?
That was last seed. Apparently I've been wrong the entire time. I've read somewhere that there was a shark in Ginso, but there was not. So sorry about that, everybody. I am now confused as to where Rue got her shard, but don't worry, we can be confused together.
I thought there was one in Ginso as well, so apparently we're both equally wrong. It's really only the randomizer. Well, no, the randomizer's also wrong.
That's right.
Yes. So we'll see if Ronnie finds a Sunstone shard in these last 2 spots. He found Charge Flame, so yeah, okay. Fair enough. Still no luck, though. Got health regen for his efforts, I suppose. Rue in the bottom left, while we've been talking, just blazed through the final escape with no problems whatsoever. Trojan very shortly behind. Unless Trojan gets stuck on this for about 20 minutes, Team City Escape will be taking the victory.
Yeah, and that's pretty much not going to happen.
It is definitely not going to happen. Especially because, I mean, not that you would have to be a good all-skills runner to do the escape like this, but Trojan is a very good all-skills runner. So you can just enjoy his movement, climb, charge up to break the barricade, bashing off these things with clean water. That will be that. Ronnie, by the way, is at the Gladeser area, so if he continues and goes all the way to the top, then he will find that 3rd Sunstone shard for his team. So that's certainly good news. Anyway, yeah, so Rue is just holding right. She'll be done soon. Trojan, as expected, made it through the final escape with really no issues at all. He'll be holding right as well. Looks like they're going to finish roughly a minute-ish apart, maybe more like a minute 10. But that'll be a really solid time, looking like a 48 something average.
Yeah, seems pretty strong, and you know, both holding right together. That's how it goes when you're both like ready to just kind of do the same sort of things, because Sunstone Shards are really just the huge gator in this. Speaking of which, Ronnie did find that last Sunstone Shard in Glades, so Poogle's finishing the Genso escape just to hope that there's one here and she doesn't have to go all the way back for that. But Ronnie will be on his way into the final escape, and Poogle will, I guess, have to do a bit of cleanup still, because I think she still has a lot of left side trees to visit.
You know what Poogle doesn't have? Wall interaction. Still, after all this time. Ronnie found wall jump, but Poogle just has not found it yet. Yeah, so that will do it. I don't know what Rue's final time was because her timer reset. Trojan's final time was 48.16. As I said, their average would have been a 48XX, a low 48. Ronnie, I believe that was a first try door up for him heading into his final escape. I still think that 3 HP Master Race played well. It's just that Trojan and Rue got such an advantage going to left side as early as they did.
Yeah, that's right. And it kind of just comes back to pickup order. But I do want to point out something cool. Ronnie's doing the game storage skip of the start of the final escape, which means he has to do the first 2 rooms blind, and he pulls it off just fine. That saves, like 10 plus a little bit, maybe 12 seconds along those lines. So he's able to tear on through with that, so he'll be able to finish. But unfortunately, behind both Cutieroo and Trojan, it does mean that they have managed to take the win. So these teams will both have 2-1 records after this.
Yeah, that's pretty impactful. By the way, Poogle found climb, so we'll no longer have to do the double jump wall climbing. There are 5 rounds of Swiss total, right? This is 3 HP Master Races and Team City Escapes match out of the 3rd week of Swiss, right? I'm doing that math, right? Yeah, so they each have 2 rounds remaining, and they only need to win 1 to advance to brackets. So it's still looking pretty optimistic for both teams, or at least I hope they feel optimistic about it.
Yeah, I imagine at 2-1, you got to say, like, well, we got 2 games left, we only need to win 1 of them. It's not such a bad situation to be in.
Top right, UncleRonny is holding right. You can watch as Ori slowly gets up, faces to the right, and starts sort of trotting along. You think he might do some dashing since, fate of the forest, but that's okay.
Yeah, a bunch of the trees have already burned down. Like, what's left to save at this point? Just take your time, Ori.
Yep, I agree. Yeah, so Poogle, I don't recall how many Sunstone Shards she still has to go collect, but she certainly has to go get some trees. I think continuing to just check a few things, just, I don't know, because they're right along her path, hoping on the off chance that they find another Sunstone Shard or something like that.
Yeah. Can also be the case of, Ronnie's in the final escape and, like, maybe a little focused on his execution, and you don't know quite which things you need to check. It's like, yeah, okay, it was at the start of Sorrow somewhere or something like that, and it's like, okay, let's check a couple. But she will find it pretty soon. We'll also see how many she needs. Oh, that's the first one. So start of Misty and the one in Glades, she'll have to pick up.
Mm-hmm. I guess it won't take her too long, just the way that the seed played out. It happened to be the case that Ronnie found all of them. I'm also going to have to pay attention to how many trees Poogle has remaining once she hits charge jump. She may or may not have enough keystones. Looks like she does, because Poogle didn't place a save that you would place if you were going to do some key duplication.
Yeah, it does have enough, though. Perfectly. That was exactly 4.
I bet she planned that from the start. She read the seed and knew she was going to need exactly that many keystones. Or something like that, even though she had to dupe it in Ginso. 8 out of 10 trees for Poogle, 1 out of 3 Sunstone Shards. At least Poogle doesn't have to search the map anymore, so the remaining checks can be done very efficiently.
Yeah, that's true. It's just, it's kind of the victory lap. Like, you know exactly what you need to go do, so you get to just go straight to it. And this kind of thing where, one player finishes a lot earlier than your partner, can happen pretty frequently in doubles. I think most noticeably is when you send one person left, as the other person has lots of stuff still to do on the right side, because whoever went left, in this case Ronnie, gets to do a bunch of trees while they check things, and the person checking stuff on the right is, you know, not getting that tree progress, which is not a bad thing, because it's your average time anyways, so having somebody finish really fast and the other person have to catch up it's fine.
Mm-hmm. Well, while Poogle is doing this, I'm going to go ahead and pull in Trojan and Cutie. Hey, you guys, welcome.
Hello.
GG on the victory.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Before we ask anything specific, just what are your thoughts on that seed? How are you feeling?
Familiarity. I love that seed.
Yeah, like actually, that seed, because it had Glide Wind Restored like right at the start, even though it was a Bash Grenade seed, it actually was a lot better because we could route a little bit easier. Made the movement just like a little less hectic.
Sure. Well, speaking of Bash Grenade, Rue, you play on controller, right?
Yes, I do.
Have you done a lot of Bash Grenade practice with controller?
Yes, last night Poogle actually had a seed that she recommended, and it was like Bash Grenade up until like you get dash and stuff like that. But in other words, yeah, I still need more practice though. I haven't done a whole bunch of them.
I think we all need more practice. Every single rando player on Bash Grenade. Cool. Well, Sigma, I think I'll toss to you if you have any questions for these guys.
Yeah, I guess I could ask about this one, because you found, you know, dash and charge jump in fairly short succession, and then I think like made an interesting play, like, you know, both players went to the left and whatnot. How do you decide who goes further left and who, in that case, goes to Ginso?
So in instances like that, it made more sense for us to just both like do feather right then and there. It didn't really make sense for us to split because it's a quick one where it's on the way. But afterward, yeah, when we found that other water vein shard, Rue kind of was like, okay, let's just split up right now. One of us go back right and one of us go left, and so.
But I asked the question of, do you want me to Ginso or not? And you were like, you Ginso.
Yeah, exactly.
And then I asked you, finish, and you're like, finish Ginso. And I'm like, oh, I don't want to finish Ginso.
That is fair.
All right, so another one. Is there something you wanted to put off the grenade tree for in this seed? Like, were you maybe thinking of going down to Lost Grove, or why did you leave the grenade tree as long as you did?
Oh, well, I'm not quite comfortable. I mean, I'm more comfortable now with the Bash Grenade setup, but without double jump, I'm not as comfortable. But until we got the dash, I felt way more comfortable going to the grenade. Because, like, it is possible to go in the entry route with the grenade and bash, but I'm not as well as, like, as good as other people. And so I kind of waited until, like, dash or double jump.
Cool. Well, I just have one more question, and that's that you're now 2-1. Do you feel confident about winning one of your next two matches, and are there any specific areas you think you need improvement on, or are you pretty set? As a team, I guess.
I think if we play like what we just did in this seed, I think we can win one of the next two. I'm pretty confident about that.
I would just have to practice skill set.
Yeah, like we're both like continuously running into like situations that are like pushing our comfort level with skill sets, and I think we still have room to improve there. I think at this point we're very good on knowing when to split up and how to split up, and when we need to come together for something. Like, we pretty much drop everything to get dash. We do not let the other person go a long time without dash or charge jump. So I think though, if we just play like what we just played today, I am very confident we can win one of the next two.
Cool. Well, I'll be excited to watch them. GG. Again, it was cool that you guys finished like within 10 seconds of each other. I don't know what the exact time was. Okay, not 10 seconds, but it was really close anyway.
Hey,
It was funny. I thought he was gonna actually beat me before I beat him. Because I was like, hey, you're gonna do the grenade jump, aren't you? And he's like, yep. And I'm like, you're gonna beat me.
yeah, but then, you know, the 39-minute BRB entry, let's go.
Oh yeah, that happened. Cool. Well, GG. I look forward to your future matches, and thank you for chatting with us. I want to, check in. Poogle's almost done here.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah. Poogle showing us how it's done while we were interviewing. Just finished up the entire rest of the game. What a beast.
Nailed it. So, and first try grenade jump. Who needs second tries? Poogle will just be able to hold right for a reduced final cutscene here, and
she also got a first try door, by the way.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. Frame Perfect is probably Poogle's middle name, if I had to guess. Like 2 middle names, or 1 middle name with a hyphen.
Rainbow Frame Perfect Poogle.
Yes.
Makes sense.
Totally. Yep, so Poogle's going to be finishing up with a 59.08 compared to Ronnie's 51.16, putting their average at whatever the average of those two numbers is. GG to 3 HP Master Race.
GG.
Yeah, and let's not waste time. I'll go ahead and pull in Poogle and Ronnie, too. Hey, Poogle. Hey, Ronnie. GG. I have some questions, but first, just how do you feel about that seed? Any thoughts you want to express?
I feel like a dumbass.
Oh my god. Sorry. Go ahead. Okay, so I have a question. Ronnie, you were the first on your team to go left side, right? And so after you got to the feather tree, you still had to search for sunstone shards, but you decided to go down on the forlorn path rather than into Sorrow or Misty. Why did you do that?
That was my idea.
We kind of forgot that we had glide, so we wanted to move. And that was the first one of our first pickups, apparently. But we forgot we had it.
Yep.
How do you think, Poogle, I'll direct this one at you. How do you think you would have routed through, say, the first, half of the game on the right side of the map if you had remembered that you had glide?
As soon as I got Stomp, I would have headed left side immediately. Like, as soon as I heard Ronnie found Stomp, I would have dropped everything, grabbed Stomp, and headed left side immediately.
It's way too easy to forget about skills that you had, unfortunately. Which is, I guess, just the way it goes. Sigma, what questions do you have?
Yeah, I guess I want to ask you guys about when you decided to do Ginso, which ended up being fairly late into the seed, although you did have a water vein, I guess a bit earlier than that, so I'm curious about the motivation for maybe putting it off.
No reason in particular. We were thinking at first, like, about splitting it, one of us going left side and one of us going Ginso. I'm not sure why it didn't work out, maybe because of the whole glide confusion.
Probably that.
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Sure, well, you are now 2-1, right?
Yep.
Because you were 2-0 before. Did you expect, are you doing better than you expected so far in the tourney, worse than expected, or none of the above?
I mean, we really haven't had time to practice it all, so par for the course, maybe?
That's fair.
We didn't practice at all. Because I'm having issues here getting enough time to practice.
Sure, yeah. I mean, and you have to put a lot of time into Oriranda to memorize all the ridiculous amount of knowledge that you need.
Yep.
Well, I guess good luck on your future matches. Sorry about glide, but I think you guys played very cleanly otherwise.
Yeah, GG Trojan and Rue.
Yeah, I think that won't happen again. I hope.
Sure.
Yeah, well,
GG
you have,
Trojan.
2 chances to win one game and make it to brackets. I think you guys will be able to handle that pretty solidly.
I agree. Thank you for talking with us.
Thanks, crew.
Thank you.
Yeah, so we'll go ahead and close up here. There is another Ori match coming up in 25 minutes at 5:30 Eastern Time, and I need to pull up the schedule because I forgot who's playing. Skull vs. Luster. Thank you, Meldon. That's on the same channel, Speed Gaming 3, so if anyone's watching and enjoying Rando, feel free to stick around. We're going to have, like I said, about a 25-minute break, and then we'll have more Ori Rando action.